State of affairs, bro. All right, let's get started, chat.
Right, everybody get in, have a seat, and get some popcorn. I hope you got your giblets ready
Not
because I'm
your
bad today.
giblets.
And I'm
Okay.
bad. All I got is my water, my H2.
Jesus, man.
What if I talk like that the whole podcast?
I think
Hello.
I think you would get tired halfway through.
Anyone want some tea and crumpets?
Okay. All right, Philip Collinsworth or whatever the fuck your guy's name is.
Oh, Zumi is online. I haven't seen her in a while. Where you been?
Jesus. Get those pre-pod coughs out. All right, let's get started. Hello. Welcome to episode 251 of the Super Weapon Podcast, most overpowered podcast on the internet. It's your boy Darius the Artist, and as always, I got my co-host DC here with me today.
Well, it seems like it's been quite a long time since I've seen you little turds, but we're back. And we definitely coming in hot with the heat, baby. We got a few beautiful topics that we want to talk about, and we want you guys to come on in and have a seat, get some good questions in the chat going, because I have a lot of questions for Darius, because he's our residential tech guy, right? So when we start breaking down the specs of this new what is it, the Steam Box 360
Steam machine. That's it.
Not to jump the gun, but we're gonna rely a little heavy on our man here, Darius. You know, he's a little more knowledgeable in this department than me, but I am so hyped for this episode because I'm actually very, very interested in this machine and its capabilities and what it can do. I have a few theories as far as what this means for Microsoft and Xbox, and we're going to get into it, man. I'm not going to jump too far into it, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're here, we're back.
Yes, man.
Good. Happy Saturday.
Definitely good to be back. For those guys who missed us the week before last, we took last week off because I had a pretty big test in front of me, a pretty big IT certification in front of me. And unfortunately, we did not get the result that we wanted, which is okay. You know, it's not okay, but it is okay because I will be spending the block back on that shit in probably a month or so. But, you know, I definitely missed potting. You know, it's been a pretty rough week for your boy. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Pretty big. A tough week mentally for me, man, in all regards. But, you know, that's life. You know, you take challenges to elevate yourself, and you know sometimes things don't work out the way you want to, but that doesn't mean you give up, right? You know, you take some time, kind of recalibrate, which is what I've done this week. You know, I just struggled through work. You know, work is a whole other thing that I'm not going to get into here, but you know, it's definitely good to be back, man. Happy to talk some gaming today, man. It's something that is a bright spot for me, and I know it is for DC as well, man.
Yes, it's like a big blast of brightness.
Always,
face.
yeah, it's always nice to especially as we get closer to the end of the year, man. You know, this has been, I think, a relatively strong year for gaming, and I've seen some people. I'm interested in what you think about it because I've seen a lot of people like conversating about, especially when it comes to like the categories for the streamer awards and everything, and I haven't looked at all of them, but you know, a lot of people have this sentiment that AAA gaming is out of style, which I don't honestly disagree with because you have so many smaller teams working on some really interesting projects, and those are the ones that seem like they're getting more buzz versus your known quantities like your Call of Duty, which is reportedly not selling that well right now. But neither here nor there. I think just overall this year has been like fantastic for gaming. Like there's been something for everybody to play. Even if you're like a super casual gamer, only have a limited amount of time to play games. You know, if you're, you know, working class citizen like most of us are here, you still find some sort of enjoyment in this hobby that we love, man. And you know, we were talking a little bit before the pod too about next year, and you know, next year is going to start off pretty strong. I think with a lot of early game of the year contenders and a potential. I'm gonna say this: there's a potential challenge to GTA 6 if the rumors are true, and it's tied into the whole Steam Machine conversation that we'll get into. But there's only one franchise I feel like that could. I don't want to say topple it like it's going to be an easy job, but in terms of hype, I don't think it's any less than GTA 6 if the rumors are true, which I hope they are. So, but yeah, let's get into it, man. Obviously, the biggest story over the last couple of weeks have been Valve's announcement in that they are entering into the quote unquote console wars, if you want to call it that. But I don't think you can kind of simplify the Steam Machine down to just a traditional console. Those lines are starting to really blur between consoles and PC, and I think we're headed into some uncharted territory, which is why this announcement was exciting for me. So they announced a new Steam Machine and a slew of other peripherals that are going to come along with the machine itself. Like they don't, like you can buy them separately, but you have the Steam Machine, a new Steam controller, and I think a new VR headset that are going to be launching sometime Q1 of 2026. But yeah, this was a big deal. I think in all facets, because this essentially will give you access to your Steam library, and you can use it as a normal PC as well, which I think is absolutely insane. Like Valve has always been just such an enigma in the gaming industry. They're one of the few. You can't even really call them a studio because they'll work on certain projects here and there, but I mean everything they've done with Steam at this point in the industry has really revolutionized how people play games on PC. They're definitely the number one marketplace to do so. But I think this is really going to expand the net for them in terms of new users for Steam, and it's all going to come down to marketing, in my opinion, with this machine and how they price it, because we don't have any pricing information as of yet when it comes to this machine. But yeah, man, this was a pretty big deal. A lot of people got talking about this and how it could forecast what Microsoft was talking about and what they've been hinting about doing with the next gen consoles. But Valve was obviously the first ones to market. They're going to be the first ones to market with this machine here. So what are your initial thoughts on this, man? This piece of hardware. Are you thinking about picking this up? And I do want to ask, what is your price prediction for this potential machine when it releases?
Oh, look at the faceplates. You can put different.
Yeah, you can customize. Yeah, you can customize it. Yep, you sure can, which is fire. So,
All right, so let's start with the price point. I think we're looking around the $800 range.
okay.
I would say starting price around 8. I was, yeah, I'm pretty confident in that. And I've been seeing that floating around online too. People are predicting between probably like 8 to 1,000, probably pushing it maybe 1,100. But if I was a betting man, I would definitely go with like 800.
Yeah.
I think 800 is a sweet spot because once again, it's all about your customer, and you know how we are with these systems. Like they don't want to price themselves out.
Right. Yeah.
And most companies are willing to take a loss in the beginning, at that entry point to get people into it, because a lot of consoles when they come out, people don't know. If you do not know, a lot of these consoles start off in the red, like they're losing money. They start off in
Yeah.
the hole, and then after their life cycle, they slowly get in the green. That's if it depends on. It's all about the sales. So I think this is going to be 800. They want it. They still want it accessible to people. They know. I think if they're smart, they understand the climate that we're living in right now, as far as just people, the working class people, just people
Yeah.
trying to get by and stuff. I think if they were smart, they would keep it in that area. And my interest in this thing is I don't know. I think I have a problem. I think I'm just looking for something to buy, like as far as like a piece of tech or
Yeah.
because I'm starting to save up for my new PC, and I thought I was going to get the Xbox handheld, and that turned out to be the more research that I did on that, I kind of stepped back from that. I really wasn't feeling that the way it was set up
Yeah.
and the way that they had windows on it, and it was just like it was a whole bunch of things I don't know. I'm just at odds with Microsoft and Xbox right now. So this was my next interest was this because it kind of came out of nowhere, but it didn't. They've been talking about this for a while, but
Yeah.
to see it actually just kind of like just drop, it's like, oh wow. And the fact that it's a little PC too. So we get into that point where it's really getting blurry, right? Because this makes me think of next console.
Mm-hmm.
Will the next console, as far as like Xbox and PlayStation, right? Like, will they get to that point of becoming like mini PCs, or especially with Xbox? Xbox need all the help they can get right now. So I have so many questions, man. It's just like, what does this mean for the next generation of gaming consoles? You know, will this be like as far as like customizable? Will you be able to upgrade your Steam box? Or will you have to like they'll just come out with another console? Will it go in console cycles like regular gaming consoles? Like it's very interesting, and for the gaming community, I'm pretty sure, you can never have too many systems, never have too many games, but I feel like this also puts Xbox in a weird space. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting the next couple of years to see how basically how Xbox is going to answer to this, right? Because they are the ones saying that they're coming out with this. What did Sarah Bond say? Premium
Premium
computer.
console.
Yeah. So does this premium console consist of computer components? As far as like, will we get a operating system on the new Xbox? Who knows? Will we get Microsoft a full fledged version of Microsoft on the Xbox console? I don't know, man. We are living in strange gamer times, bro.
Yeah. I agree, man. And to kind of touch on like the price, I was kind of sitting around that too. So from what I understand, there's going to be two models. There's going to be a 512 gigabyte model as far as storage goes, and there's a 2 terabyte model. Uh,
Let me stop you right there. I'm sorry. Why
uh
are we still doing 500?
that's a. I think it's a
Well, with Steam, it
strategy.
makes sense though. I'm sorry. With
No, no,
Steam,
no. You're
because
good. Yeah, I think it's probably an affordability thing for them.
true,
Because
true, true.
they did the same thing with the Steam Deck. Like there were two models that you could purchase. One had lesser storage, one had more. But as far as everything else in the machine, it's gonna be standard. It's gonna be like the same amount of RAM. The RAM is upgradable because I'm looking at the specs right now. Because that was one thing I was thinking of too that you mentioned is will you be able to upgrade this over time, or is it just going to kind of be what what you get out of the box is what you have until they decide to make another one, if they do, because you never really know with Valve, because they actually released a Steam machine 10 years ago. I think it was 2015 the original one came out. But obviously times have changed, technology is improved and everything, and I could see people upgrading. I would upgrade the RAM on that. Would probably be the first thing I would do, from 16 to 32, because they claim that this thing can play 4K 60. But I think the sweet spot for a lot of people is going to be 1440p, which I think is good because you don't really have those options on an Xbox or even like a PlayStation right now. Like you just have performance mode versus like fidelity, and the average person's not going to really know what those things mean. But for me, I think for this thing to be successful for the average consumer, this is going to have to come out of the box and essentially be plug and play, which is what I'm thinking it's going to be, because it's going to come with Steam OS, but they've already said that you can essentially upload any OS on it if you want. So if you want, to have a Windows-based Steam machine, you can. Linux-based, sure. which I think is a great thing for people who like to tinker with stuff like that. But for the average person, like you mentioned with the Xbox Ally, I think that was a big pain point for a lot of people, and a lot of the reviews that I watched is, the setup isn't the easiest thing to get to. You kind of have to go through quite a bit to get it set up to ready to play, versus having this just out of the box. You can plug it in and play and you're good to go. And I think that's going to be a really big selling point for them. And I hope that Microsoft is learning from things like this, especially with the Xbox ROG Ally. I hope to God they don't launch a console with full-fledged Windows on it. I'm just being honest. I think that Windows is not conducive to, like, if I'm an average consumer, like, and if you tell me my next Xbox, I have to sign into my Microsoft account, do all the region stuff, all the initial pre-boot stuff, like, before I can even play a game. That's just really not appealing to me. So maybe they'll come up with some sort of compact OS that really just kind of lets people get in and play as soon as possible, because time is precious in today's world, right? And if I have to spend 30 minutes of the 3 hours I have on a Saturday, 30 minutes to an hour of the 3 hours I have on a Saturday to set it up before I can even play, then you got to think you have to spend time downloading your games on top of that. So half your time is essentially gone at that point. And I think like that, if I'm a consumer looking at that and I'm like, well, I could just go buy a Steam machine and I'll have access to literally tens of thousands of games that aren't available on Xbox and PlayStation, I'm going to go with the Steam machine 10 times out of 10.
Because from my understanding with the Steam machine, it kind of used cloud so you can play your games you already have, right?
I believe there is some sort of streaming function. I have to look more into that. I didn't see a whole lot of information on it, but I did hear murmurs of that, which is cool. Like, that's another positive about technology today, is like you can just stream your game straight to it and play it, which would be really awesome. But I think those are probably going to be the two biggest things. Like, if this thing hits 4 digits, I don't want to say it's going to be dead on arrival, but then you're just kind of regulating yourself to the hardcore consumer at that point, who's willing to shell out that much money for this tiny box, which says it can do all of this and everything. But that's just going to be something that they're going to have to work through. And hopefully, this comes out. I think it's going to be successful. I will say, I think the controller's hideous. I'm just going to be honest. It reminds me of like the original Xbox controller with how fat it is. But I understand the design behind
comfy,
it.
Though.
Yeah, the ergonomics on it looks pretty comfy. And I think though, like, their idea was you should be, because you got to think too. There's PC games that don't have controller support. So that was probably their idea behind those like touchpads, try to simulate, keyboard and mouse gameplay to some extent, to where you could at least play some of those games that don't have controller support. Which
I'm pretty sure it's gonna have like a mouse and keyboard option. I'm pretty sure.
No. Yeah, so you can still use this as a normal PC. You can plug in, keyboard or mouse. I'm assuming the Xbox and PlayStation controller. Those things aren't gonna go anywhere. Like, that's why I'm like not tripping about the controller too much, because I don't have to buy it. I can just continue to use my Xbox controller that I have been.
You don't like the controller?
I'm not a fan.
Looks pretty comfortable.
It doesn't look as big here in the video here, like, but just
you don't like the size?
Yeah, I think it just looks massive. Like, it just
like a Wii U.
Yeah, and I don't have small hands, but I'm thinking about like people who don't have, normal size hands, or they might struggle with a controller of this size. Like I said, that's why I said it reminded me of the original Xbox controller and how big and hefty that was. But
the big circle. Yeah, you can kind of tell the size when you look at her hands when she did that in the video.
Yeah.
Audio listeners, we are looking at a video.
Yeah, there is an announcement video you guys can watch for the Steam machine, so you can kind of like see it in action and everything.
At least it's not a 64 controller, all right?
That's fair. I don't think we'll ever get back to those days where people
Boy,
get
64 really thought they had something with that controller too. That thing was awful. Putting that analog right in the middle was probably not the smartest thing. I was like, yo, who QA tested
Yeah,
this?
no, the 64 controller was really bad. Like the console was great, but the 64 wasn't intuitive, honestly.
They
Like
barked on me on Twitter about that. I said it was the one of the worst controllers in history up
yeah,
there with the Wii U.
that's facts. There's no, you can't, and this is what we talk about with nostalgia, right? Like, yeah, the 64 was a good console. I'm not gonna say it was a great console. The Nintendo 64 was a good console, but let's not kid ourselves in thinking that controller was anything worth it. Yeah,
I remember when I first played a 64 over my friend's house. I want to say we were playing Madden 64.
Yeah,
and you had to use the analog to like run. Because you're moving your hands. The problem with it is you're moving from here to here to analog.
Yeah.
Press the buttons, right? Or you move it from here to here. That was the problem. So, but
yeah.
To sidebar a little bit on controllers, I do think we'll never see anything beyond the controllers we have now because
I
just
agree.
feel like they are they're perfectly formatted for like optimal use.
You know what I'm saying? You don't really have that anymore. You won't really find like it's hard to kind of iterate on what we have nowadays, honestly. Like I think that PlayStation 5 did a good job, by adding haptic feedback. That was but as far as like design goes, I don't think you'll ever get anything out of the box. Like you will probably for like they're showing the VR headset right now and the controllers you can use. That's the type of space I always see like innovation coming from, where you have,
but it's still going to have that analog and with the buttons. It's still going to be that same format. Like, and we could thank PlayStation for that.
You can really credit like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 for like.
Oh, remember when PlayStation 1 didn't have the two little analogs? Yeah. Remember it was just a controller?
Yeah. I honestly hated those. They were cheaper and more affordable, but I did not like those without the analogs. Honestly, like, shout out to Sony for really revolutionizing the standardization of controllers. And I think I still prefer Xbox controllers because of the way that the analogs are offset. It just feels more natural in my hands. And
that is true.
Like I still prefer an Xbox controller over a PlayStation controller if I had to choose.
I never thought about that slight slight little angle.
It just feels a little bit more natural. And Winnie's point in chat, he says, I think the buttons are in a good spot to make it comfy. The touchpads make it appear larger, and that's probably what my problem is the touchpads. I think that it looks larger in the photos, but like I said, when you see people in the announcement video playing with the controller itself, it doesn't look as large. It kind of looks, it favors like a Wii Pro controller a little bit, and maybe that's what I'm thinking of here. But if the touchpads work great, that's awesome. Like I said, it's one less barrier of entry for the average consumer to play a game that doesn't have controller support, which is what I think Valve is going for. And honestly, I don't even think they care to sell 100 million, 50 million of this. Valve, they always have operated by their own rules. And I mean, they didn't have to make this thing. Like, they could have just lived off of Steam revenue literally forever. We're just being honest. But, the fact that they've gone, been around. Yeah, I mean, like the fact that they've gone out of their way to innovate on this space and really show what the potential for next generation could be is exciting. I think this is going to force everybody but Nintendo to kind of rethink about what they want to do in terms of console sales. I mean, because even there's rumors that, we've seen all the rumors and stuff about the next Xbox, the next PlayStation. I don't think it'll be a surprise if those launch in 2027. I think that's what everyone's thinking at this point. But I think what'll really push things forward and really attract people is how do you kind of bridge this gap as PC and console are starting to become more level? I guess that's the best way to put it. Level in terms of power, fidelity when it comes to gaming, which is going to be really interesting. So I'm definitely curious to see how this all kind of plays out. I'm super excited for this console, and I think it is definitely going to be a pickup for me.
I like the box look.
Yeah, I like that
That's
it's
one of the reasons why I like
compact.
my Series X. I love the little box look and the fact that you could change the front of it to kind of like I like that wood paneling that they
Yeah,
put on the front of it, kind of
yeah,
match my living room aesthetics. So I'm here for it. I'm not gonna say I don't know if I'm gonna buy it. I honestly don't,
sure,
but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Like you said, I have a lot of Steam games,
right.
and it would be kind of cool to like play it on my like big screen TV, something like Hollow Knights or something. Like I have a whole bunch of games, or some of my racing games like BG Drive and stuff like that. I would love to play like on my big living room screen.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing that I was thinking about too is you know being able to play games with like my wife and stuff, like games that she can't play on Xbox or PlayStation that we could play together. This will help bridge that gap, and I would suspect that they're probably hoping to sell like maybe 5 to 10 million of these, and they'll probably call it a win. Versus like Xbox or PlayStation, where their entire hardware business is based off of this. Steam or Valve has Steam to supplement, the cost and the sale. So I'm hopeful about the price, but I won't be surprised if it is hovering around that $800 mark. Because once again, you can still use this as a normal computer. They even showed in the video some guys using some 3D modeling software to make some art and
Me,
stuff. So
yeah, if you could put Adobe on that thing and I could play games, it might be a little nice little alternative.
yeah,
Uh, like I said, if you could hook a keyboard and a mouse up to this, and
yeah,
I could just put like Adobe on that bad boy
you
and just do
can.
work in my living room,
Yep.
that would be like, that's stuff that appealed to me as a designer. And I feel like another thing that I want to touch on a little bit is as far as like price ranges go, I feel like all companies are really, really, really trying to avoid that $1,000 mark. I feel
Yeah, they're trying hard.
because once you hit that, like we are very, very number focused as people, and 1,000 just screams a lot, right? So it's almost like the old trick of putting 299 instead of
Yeah,
300.
yeah,
It's like we don't. I feel like all these companies, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, Steam, whoever, everyone's trying to avoid that $1,000 mark because then that's when we get to the, you know, we get to the point where people really start questioning it. Like, yo, that's a little bit much. Like, well, I don't have $1,000 to spend. Whatever, whoop de whoop, whatever the case is. So,
yeah. And
yeah,
and
man.
and then you have the expectation that if you're spending that much money, it should work the way that it's intended, and you shouldn't have any hiccups when it
Oh
comes
yeah,
to, you know
I
what I
was
mean?
getting ready to
Like
touch
you
on that.
you
Yeah.
have you have that expect just like when you buy a TV, a more expensive TV versus one that's a little bit more affordable. You expect the picture to be better. The shows to look a whole lot better. Than versus a little TLC or something. Versus OLED. You know what I mean? Like you expect that premium level of hardware to be great at all times. So which is
Yep.
something that's going to be interesting. And I'm not saying that Xbox and PlayStation are going to throw out whatever plans they're currently working on. That I honestly think they're too far along at this point. But I think this is going to force them to think more. It's going to force innovation in the industry, which is a good thing, especially if this thing is successful. And I could definitely see them having some sort of bundle, like you can buy the Steam machine and controller, or Steam machine controller and the VR headset. Probably for I can imagine that hitting 4 digits for sure, like $1,300-$1,400. But just the Steam machine itself, I'm hopeful that it hovers around that $800 mark. I think that's a fair price assessment for what I think next generation is going to be. I'm a little bit indifferent about it before, because before we were thinking they're gonna hit that, or at least I was thinking that the next PlayStation console and Xbox console are gonna hit that $1,000 mark. But the more I think about it, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough sell, because even as successful as PlayStation 5 has been this generation, it hasn't been as successful as their past console generations, which is probably something that they're inherently thinking about. I would hope they are anyway. Or they could just do what they want.
I will give PlayStation the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to just sit around and kind of just sit on their loins and just kind of bullshit around. I think they are thinking ahead of the curve. I think that we may see some new IPs in the next couple of years.
I hope so. I really hope so. Because we
really
didn't get a lot of that this generation from them, if we're being honest. Like I
have to look that up and see what they came up.
We got a lot of
talking about their go-tos, like their go-to lineup of
Horizon, God of War, Last of Us were the biggest things that they dropped this console. I mean, you could say Ratchet and Clank is one as well, because those games typically sell pretty well.
I think they need to make a part 2. I
hope so. Rift in Space was oh gosh, man, that was incredible. That was one of my favorite PlayStation 5 games.
Once I catch up on some stuff, I will be buying that on my PlayStation.
I think
it's probably going to be on sale by then.
It is, in my opinion, the best showcase for the controller. That's what sold me on the controller. It was the very first game I played on PlayStation 5. And you think we need another Sly Cooper? Maybe, if we get one. I don't know. This
Sly Cooper
rumors abound.
Their library. Because I think, excuse me, I think where PlayStation's at is building up their library with new exclusive IPs. I think within the next couple of years, I think that's where they're at with it. I think they're looking to expand their library and not share.
Yeah.
Well, at least not share like when it first come out. Maybe it'll come out on PC later.
Yeah.
Which they tend to do. And me personally, like, a lot of people don't like that. But me personally, I feel like that's how it should be done. If it's an exclusive, I feel like, you should drop it on your system first. Then maybe a year later, then you port it to PC, because that also gives you time, right?
Yeah.
In a perfect world, even though this don't happen, in a perfect world, it'll give you time to port it over to PC with no problems. Even though we've seen PlayStation ports go from go to hell. But I feel like
they haven't had the greatest track record with releasing ports.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's been a little rough. But I feel like waiting a year or so before it comes out on PC is okay.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish Xbox would have kind of took note on that, which even though their stuff went to other systems late, it's just like, we're not going to get on Xbox this episode, but it's just they're doing just so much questionable stuff.
That bill always comes due when you spend over $100 billion to buy studios.
Yeah. When your CFO, she wants her money.
Yeah. Amy Hood from the hood want that. She want that dollars, man.
Perfect name, boy. Amy Hood. It ain't Amy Suburb. She want her money, man.
Yeah.
But I'm here for that. I'm here. Like, I just keep looking at it as we look at this video, and it just looks cool. Like, I like the way it looks, and it's real small and like compact. You know what it reminds me of? Remember the Mini Max?
Yeah, it does. Honestly, yeah, it's. I like the Apple. I like the look of it too, man. I'm a fan. It's clean.
I feel like it'll sit on my desk real nice.
Yeah,
like it will aesthetically, it would look really good on my desk.
Or or right next to a TV, which is what they want. I'm sure. You can just.
People probably think it's a air humidifier or something. They come in your house.
Right. Oh man, that's cool. What is that? Oh, that's my steam machine. That sounds cool. So. But yeah, so that's the Steam machine, and I do want to touch on some other rumors from Valve, which I think will be great to talk about
Half-Life 3
in relation to this.
Who's been waiting for this for 20 years?
So there's been a lot of rumors swirling around about Half-Life 3. And they've only intensified with the announcement of this. And I'm not going to go through all of the rumors dating back to like January of this year, but essentially there was some updates, some releases that Valve updated on Steam, and it shows I think 5 listed titles, but only 4 are actually showing on the storefront. So the copium is coping right now. I hope that these rumors are true. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. If you guys have never played Half-Life, it is, I think, the greatest FPS,
Part 1 changed my life.
like single player FPS game of all time. Like I don't think it's hyperbole to say that at all. And like I said before, in terms of hype, I think this is the only series that can combat GTA in terms of hype and could possibly challenge for Game of the Year. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think my history with this game is almost like Halo, right? We've talked about the influence that Halo has had on our lives.
Yeah.
Both of us. And I'm going to be honest with you, I want to put this game right up there with it.
Oh, yeah.
Because
100%.
This game, because first I want to say my first taste of a FPS multiplayer, right? The multiplayer was Doom. As weird as that sounds, it was Doom. I'm not Doom. Duke Nukem.
Okay.
Duke Nukem was like me. Like I've told this story a billion times. Me, my sister, my father. Like he hooked up the network. This was back when networks was just beginning, so to speak.
Yeah.
So we hooked the network up in our house and we played Duke Nukem. We were all in different rooms playing Duke Nukem against each other. That was my first FPS experience, right? On PC. Wait, did I play any? No, I didn't even know FPS on the console. As far as like multiplayer playing against each other, like.
Yeah.
But I say that to say this. The next step in my evolution of FPSing was Half-Life. I remember my father got Half-Life and I got addicted to it. Like when he would be at work, I put so many hours into the story and it was hard too.
Yeah,
Like,
Half-Life is not an easy game by any means.
We were so addicted to this game, dude. Like,
yeah.
And then I found out about the multiplayer. And I was really, really hooked. Like, my father didn't, he's more of a single player story driven type of person.
Yeah.
So he didn't really care about the online multiplayer. But man, let me tell you, dude. Oh my God, bro. With the I remember having the revolver and it had the beam on it. It had a little scope on it.
Yeah.
That was my favorite weapon, dude. Like I would play that game Saturday. Like I was forced to go outside. I would play. My mom was like, "Yo, you got to get off that game. Like I'm not gonna let you sit up here on that game all day."
I mean, like it's just such a iconic series, man. I honestly
the
like
story's really good. I want to put emphasis on that too. The story is really, really good. The way it's told, the atmosphere in the game is like some parts are really scary. Like this game is worth the hype. Like you said, I would say it is worth the hype. People who've been following this game will tell you. It's
incredible. And if you guys have never played Half-Life, you can play it on consoles. You know, you can buy what's called the Orange Box, which has Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2, and then Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and Episode 2. And honestly, with the way that the second game ended, you're talking about one of the biggest cliffhangers in gaming. Like, they almost have to finish the story, man. And, you know, with them releasing Half-Life Alyx and showing, you know, they kind of hinted at what's next for the series. And that's honestly why I want to buy a VR headset, because I want to play Half-Life Alyx. Because it definitely continues the story, but it also leaves more questions, you know, for Gordon and everyone trying to essentially liberate Earth from this alien invasion. Essentially is what the easiest way I can say it without explaining.
The dimensional rifts.
Yeah, without spoiling anything.
Yeah, if you guys haven't played this series, and it's aged pretty well too.
It has.
Like you can play it and like you don't feel like you're playing. You know how you play an older game and it's like, oh man, this is kind of rough to just look at. Like
yeah.
I don't really get that feeling when I play this game because I did play it maybe. I would say I want to play around 2013. I ran it back
Yeah,
again. Like this
yeah, yeah,
game, and another thing, back when I was playing multiplayer, I don't even think America was on multiplayer at this time because the majority of the people that I were playing was overseas, which was just another interesting like little tidbit.
yeah. Yeah, I mean it's such a great series, and you have, in my opinion, the best, the greatest gun ever made, the gravity gun. Like if you guys are watching the podcast or listening to the audio version, just look up some of the gameplay from the Half-Life 2 remaster. You'll see the gravity gun and just like the amount of stuff you can do with it. You know, from just like DC said, the story is incredibly engaging, and there's just so much mystery surrounding what's happening, and
Story is what really carries this game, in my
yeah,
opinion. I mean, everything else is good, shooting, like movement, everything, but the story really like makes you want to move forward in the game to
yeah,
figure out what's going on. And there was one part I remember on part one, because part one you're essentially go down into this
yeah.
laboratory
You're still
to
in the
see what's
facility.
going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you like you're down. I remember you go down there, you find out what's happening. I want to say, and then you got to come back up. But when you're coming back up is when I guess like they call in some kind of special forces to kind of like clear everything out. And that's when the game get really hard because the special forces are really hard to fight.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
not like the aliens where they kind of just kind of flesh and like they got body armor on and you got to like really, really think about how you approach them. Man, this game's good. I could sit up here and talk about this forever.
yeah.
The game is freaking great, man.
It's just, it really is one of them ones, man. And hopefully, like I said, the rumors are true. I do have a question regarding this. Let's say that they are right. Do you think we'll get an announcement at the Video Game Awards this year, or do you think they'll go the GTA route and just make their own announcement? Because either way, whenever it gets announced, I'm gonna be hopeful here. The copium's coping right now for me. When this gets announced, this is going to take over the news cycle. For it doesn't matter what other game is being talked about.
Like you said, it's up there with Grand Theft Auto. This game has that kind of a follow.
Yeah,
And with the new graphics,
yeah. I mean, they have,
IGN graphics. Ooh,
because then they're working on the next iteration of the Source engine, which is their own proprietary gaming engine, which is what's kind of shown off here. If you guys are, once again, if you guys are, they essentially remastered Half-Life 2 in the game. I mean, everything from the lighting to the effects and stuff like this looks like a next gen game here. I can't even imagine what they would do with, a fully just built from the ground up Half-Life 3. And
ooh.
I know a lot of people have been kind of disappointed with Valve for waiting so long, because you're talking about almost 20 years to this point between releases. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the pressure got to them. Like if the pressure of making something that could live up to the legacy of Half-Life 2, I couldn't imagine,
If they just follow the story, I think they'll be fine. Like I don't. I think with Half Life, they don't have to go too far with reinventing the wheel.
but
So to
that's
speak.
what they do though, man. That's Valve. They're so, like I said, they
They
just go to
keep
the
it,
beat of
man.
their own drum. I mean, even with Portal, like the Portal series, kind of it
Which
ties
is
in.
good too. Which
Yeah,
is amazing.
it ties into Half-Life. If you guys, once again, if you know, you know. If you haven't played the Portal series, Portal 1 and 2, highly recommend it because it ties into Half-Life. And there was a point where there was even rumored story beats from like years ago. I remember reading about that ties all this shit together. But I hope we do, man. This would truly. This is literally probably my white whale. Like this is the one game
Mm.
I need. I would be happy. I don't care if there's anything else ever released on my list of shit I never think is coming out. This is the one I need to happen before I leave this earth, man. Like full stop. And now talking about it, now I want to play the Orange Box again.
And it's just so much like remember the man, the mysterious
Yeah, the
dude with the
G-Man. Yeah,
glasses, the G-Man coming
yeah,
through the portal? Like, what do you got to do with this? Like,
yeah. We
it's so
don't
much
know
going on there.
anything, bro. Like we know
You're just
everything,
a
but we don't know
scientist
anything.
trying to escape, and now you're being nosy at this point.
Yeah. Shout out to Gordon the Free Man, as they called him.
Yes, and shout out to Teacher Bro with that prime sub.
Yo, thank you, man.
Thank you,
Appreciate
brother.
that. But
But yeah, I
yeah,
could talk about this game forever,
I,
bro.
I wouldn't be
Yeah, I'm with
surprised
you.
if we get some sort of announcement. If this is a launch title, bought. If this is a launch title for a Steam machine, it's bought. I could see them announcing it and it comes out
Oh,
soon. That's what some people are speculating.
that would be a
Especially
good selling point.
because I believe correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I believe Half-Life Alex was a launch title for the HTC Vive when it released, and it got reviewed really well. A lot of people love Half-Life Alex. They said it's the best VR game ever made. And I mean, once again, in terms of story and what it does to push the narrative forward, I've watched someone play through that entire thing a few times, and man, that is the one game I want to play on VR. Like, I'm not a big VR guy, but I would buy a VR headset just to play Half-Life Alex, just for one game.
The
Like,
little ayahuasca.
no thanks, no thanks. I don't want to be seeing demons in the living room. Nope, I'm good. But yeah,
A little
man,
piece of the
I just think overall, like, Valve, whenever they release stuff or they make waves in the industry, it puts a lot of people on notice. I will say that. Like, I think that this, like I said, Half-Life 3, if it does release next year, it definitely will be a contender. Like, I'm not saying like I think GTA 6 is gonna automatically win Game of the Year, but it's definitely the front runner in a lot of people's eyes. But if this were to come out, man, this is something that would 100% challenge the title for that, and I won't be surprised. So if anybody getting their feelings about that, you've never played Half-Life. Like, if you think just GTA is just a better franchise, you've never played Half-Life. That's just how I feel about it personally.
To me, it's two different kind of games. Honestly, I feel like they both sit in their own lane,
Yeah,
and I feel like there's room for both of them to be great because they're two different kind of games
yeah,
with two different, like, one is very Half-Life is very sci-fi.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Sci-fi driven type of game. And well, GTA is kind of more or less like a drama, like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I
My
think there's room for both, but
and I think
this is
for
up there
me,
with it.
because we didn't really get to talk about like the game award announcements, but in my opinion, what makes a game of the year is something that, no matter the genre, it just does something so uniquely better than any other thing in the category. I think that, in my opinion, that's what game of the year should be about. Not just sales, but the game should like truly be the next step for that genre. And I know there's been some controversy about the current game of the year nominees, but
Hmm.
especially a lot of people feel like Arc Raiders got snubbed, but I don't.
No, it didn't.
That's what I was gonna. That's exactly what I don't think Arc Raiders got snubbed. I just don't think it. I don't think it pushes the, at least as of yet. It's still young in its life cycle, but in terms of like extraction shooters, I think it's the best extraction shooter out now. But I don't think it pushes it. It doesn't do anything super different from the formula, at least in my
You
opinion.
know what it did? You know why everybody on Arc Raiders, and no one wants to have this real conversation. Everybody is on Arc Raiders because it's accessible.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
easy. It's easy for people to pick up and play. It's not sweaty as hell like Tarkov or the other extraction shooters. They
Agree.
made it fun. They simply took extraction shooter, the genre, because most of them are hardcore, right?
Yes.
Like, there's this
Yeah.
hardcore element. There's no room for mistakes. You know, you get sniped from a mile away. You just drop. You don't know where it came
Yeah.
from. Like, and it's just frustrating. And then most extraction shooters, you're just kind of it's very militant,
Mm-hmm.
military kind of based, and you got to heal your leg. Oh, I got an ankle wound and I got to do this. And I think what Arc
Gotta
Raiders
drink
did
water
was,
and hydrate and all that
yeah,
shit. Yeah.
Arc Raiders simplified all of that.
Yeah.
Arc Raiders was like, we're going to make this very casual and user friendly. That's why everybody is in love with Arc Raiders, because everybody who's playing Arc Raiders right now, trust me, I guarantee you, they tried like Tarkov and stuff and hated it. It was like,
Yeah.
this is not for me. So
I think
it's just that simple.
the funniest description I've heard of Arc Raiders is people say it's an extraction shooter for people with jobs. That is,
And that is the perfect. That actually is the perfect
oh man,
description, dog. That's actually funny as hell.
that's the funniest description.
You're not really too invested. Even there's not really too big of penalties. Like when you die, like, yeah, you'll lose your stuff, but
Yeah,
the way that they got crafting set up and stuff, it's kind of like easy to recover what you've lost. And
right.
even though you don't want to lose it, period, like the goal is not to lose anything, especially when you start getting like blueprints and better weapons and upgraded weapons that you got to make, and you go out there and lose it. Yeah, you're going to be pissed, but like, it doesn't, it's easy to kind of recover. It's just a very user friendly game.
Yeah,
And this is coming from a person who played it, because I finally caved in and I bought it. And I was like, you know what? Fair is fair. I understand the hype. I get it. I understand. Like, this is coming from a person who tried extraction shooters like Tarkov and stuff. Tarkov was just too much for me.
agreed.
And this was, and if anybody who knows me know, I love just inducing my anxiety. I love scary games. I love one thing that Arc Raiders do, and they do it oh so freaking well. I'm so mad that I voted for Battlefield as audio design game of the year or whatever, because Arc Raiders could have been in that category. The
Yeah,
sound in that game is so freaking good. Like, you can tell if you got a good headsets, you can tell where people are coming from. There's always some kind of weird ass noise that the robots are making. You can tell when they're around you from the propellers, from the certain arcs that be flying around. Like,
yeah,
the sound, I want you to just listen to the sound in that game. Like, it's so good, man.
agreed.
It's so yeah, for a person who played multiple like extraction shooters and playing Arc Raiders, I could just say they just did a good job at making it for everyone. And that just, makes me wonder whatever is going to happen to Marathon.
Oh god, I
Hey,
just
they
choked on my
said
spit.
they said they're dedicated to a March release. I made a YouTube short about it. Had some nice conversations.
We could
over there on YouTube.
we could talk about Marathon Bungie before we get out of here. Sure, why not? If I'm being honest,
They
man,
said it's in March. They said it will drop in March.
I think it is too little, too late. I think that before the end of the next generation of consoles, Bungie will cease to exist as they are. I do. I don't think there is anything else that could truly save Bungie at this point. Not even Destiny 3. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh man, we just need Destiny 3. We just need, that'll do it." I honestly I don't think it matters anymore. I don't. Like that traditional live service, like I don't think that matters anymore. I don't think, well, let me not say I don't think it matters. I don't think people care enough about just that traditional live service model anymore, because it's unsustainable. It is.
It's been proven time and time again that no one wants these drawn out games. And it makes me wonder. Where do we see Arc Raiders a couple of years from now? Because they do have some very extensive plans for this game, and they've already been dropping like little tidbits here and there and giving frequent updates on the game, and people are loving it. You always get this game that just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Actually, this game has been in development for a while, but I wasn't paying attention to it. I'm not gonna lie. I did some research, and you know,
Made by the
they've
same
had
studio
betas and
that made
stuff.
the finals. And apparently both games are in the same universe. However the fuck that works. They've come out and confirmed that, which is weird, but
And
hey.
it's weird because finals seems like it's futuristic and Arc Raiders seem like it's present day or maybe a little bit into the future.
Yeah, it looks like
But
it's like I get like far future vibes from Arc Raiders versus the finals, which is if they can make it work or if they do some sort of cross event, sure. I know a lot of people aren't talking about the finals much anymore, but it still has a nice community of players who are still playing it.
it has a nice size community.
Mhm.
Like it's still
And honestly, it's one of the better shooters out. If we're being honest with what they do with the destructibility of the environments, like it honestly puts Battlefield to shame in terms of that. Just in my opinion, but
destruction.
I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for Bungie, but I just think they're going to continue to get absorbed into Sony like Cell absorbs Android 17 and
You're
18
gonna
as
turn
a
to QA.
I mean,
You're
yeah,
gonna have a whole
honestly.
new job.
Like if
But yeah, that game is
I would love to see them get back to making like single player story driven games, but I don't think they'll be allowed that chance, honestly. I just
and it's
don't.
definitely fun with friends. Like solo running is cool,
Yeah.
but it's definitely fun with friends. Or you can actually like if I'm playing by myself, I could do a field squad where they put you with some people.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely less stress inducing because I'm just weird. I'm so weird. Like I love not knowing what's going to happen. Like when I go into this map, I met up with this guy yesterday, and like I was telling Darius, like so far all of the people I've met, he's never going to find this man. I'm just looking at the
Oh
visuals while
yeah, how he
we
drags
talk.
you through Ravenholm. Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah, I remember this bullshit too. But yeah, like I was telling Darius that most of the trolley stuff you see online is not a big part of the game. Like a
No.
lot of people are friendly. I had my first troll encounter yesterday where a guy was acting like he was helping me and then he killed me like a jerk. But it happens. And see, I have a method to what I carry. So when stuff like that happen, I don't even care. Like, because
Yeah.
my workbench, the way I got my stuff set up, I can like get it back. But and then you have a what is called a secret pocket, or is it the safety pocket? Where it's one spot in your inventory where if you put something in, you can't lose it.
I'm not gonna say what people call that online, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh my god, online. Why are y'all so
We'll
nasty?
talk about that off after the pod. Yeah, I'll tell you guys what they call
Oh
that.
my god. Yeah. What they call that.
Weenie said it in chat. I'm not repeating it on the
Boofing?
pod. You're definitely
That's a jail term.
putting it where the sun don't shine, man. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah. So before the podcast gets any longer, 'cause we're just kind of rambling now. But I'm excited for the Steam Machine, man. I hope to God we get a Half-Life 3 announcement. That my gaming lore will be complete if we get
Your
Half-Life 3.
gaming career would be
Yeah,
done.
this would be.
That's what I said about GTA 6. I said that might be the last video game I buy. And now I don't care about GTA 6. So.
Yeah. Like this is definitely, like I said, guys, this is my white whale. Like I need Half-Life 3 in my life, man. If you guys once again have not played it, Orange Box is super affordable. I think it's like $20 normally most of the time. Like
It's probably cheaper than that now.
yeah, and you get 5 games. Like you get 5 video games. Like
Okay.
5 great games to play. So yeah, I'm
Do
excited,
yourself a
man.
favor.
Do yourself a favor, please. You owe it to yourself to have good gaming experiences, and this is one. It's one of them ones, as the kids say, man. It's definitely worth the price of admission. So, yeah,
Yeah, there's really games that like you got these games that literally are just cornerstone, like historical event type games.
Yes, yes.
And it's one of those games. Like it's definitely part of my gaming history, man. I just remember so many memories from that game, dude.
Yeah,
So many freaking memories.
Doesn't get too much better. And like DC said,
You're right. Orange Box is on sale it's not on sale, but it's $20 on Steam, and it's worth it. You get 5 games.
Yeah, you can play it on Steam, Xbox, PlayStation. It's literally everywhere. Probably minus the Switch. I don't imagine you would want to play this on Switch. Don't do that to yourself. Don't punish yourself like that. Please don't.
Don't punish your eyeballs.
Yeah, yeah, right. Please don't.
If you enjoy your eyeballs, don't do that.
Yeah, please don't.
Sorry, Switch. You know what you did.
Yeah,
you know what you did.
Hey, I'm on Nintendo forever until they finally fix the Pokemon franchise. But that's neither here nor there. So, thank you guys for hanging out for episode 251 of Super Weapon Podcast, man. It's once again great to be back. Like I said, I know we didn't get the result that I wanted from taking that test last weekend, but that's life. You stumble, but you get back up and you try again. And we're gonna continue to press forward, man. And I'm eternally appreciative for all the people who wish me good luck, and all the guys who, guys and gals and everyone in the community who's rooting for me. I'm all right. I was bummed out this week, but I'm back. I'm back like I never left, as they say. So we're gonna be good.
Get your ass up. Ain't no bitches around here.
Yeah, we might stumble or fall, but you always got to get up in life, man. That's nothing easy. Nothing worth having it comes easy, as they say. So I'll be taking the test again probably in a month or so after a lot of review and labbing and stuff. So, but we'll be all right, man. I promise you guys that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're recording next week. I gotta talk to DC about that as far as like scheduling and stuff, because next week is for our for our international listeners. Next week is Thanksgiving. I'm not calling it Friendsgiving. Don't force that on me, chat. It's a holiday here in America, so we'll be figuring out. Yeah, I know, right? I'm so excited. Yeah, so we'll let you guys know. We'll keep you abreast of that if we do decide to record or not. But yeah,
I might just sit on here and eat turkey, but y'all.
Yeah, and maybe we'll just have a turkey eating podcast. Yeah, we'll just eat ham and turkey.
Ooh, a turk off.
Okay.
See what I did there?
All right. You guys can find me everywhere. There's the artist.
Hey man, I'll be selling CDs after this. Meet me outside.
Make sure you guys also check out Super Weapon Shorts. DC has been killing it this week, man. I had to make sure to shout that out, man. This guy worked so hard for the stuff that we're doing around here, man, and we would not be where we are today without DC. I wanted to make sure to thank you for that, because you are doing great work, man, and I appreciate the hell out of you for that.
I'm having a blast, brother. I appreciate the appreciation. I've learned a lot in Adobe, because not to run this long, but they've been doing so many updates and changing so much shit around.
Yeah,
and it's been fun. Like all of this learning is fun. Podding is fun. Just learning audio, just learning this is fun. So when you have a passion for it and you're learning, nothing ever feels like work. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
As corny as that saying is, it don't. Like, so for me to do these shorts and create a way to curate these faster so they can fit in my schedule, it's been fun, man. So I appreciate the thanks.
Yeah, man.
And we're going to keep it rolling, man.
Yes,
I'm to drop one right now after this show.
Ooh, so you guys got to be the first one to like it and share it. Please make sure and sub on YouTube and all that good stuff, man. Once again,
family, we need you guys.
Yes,
we need you.
Thank you guys once again.
We're nothing.
So we will see you guys next episode, man. If you guys are in chat, hang around. We're gonna play some video games today, finally. So we'll see you later. Peace.
Peace. Remember.